Greetings today. We continue with part 2 of the name of God, Jehovah Cela, from Psalm 18:2, where David said, "The Lord is my rock." The Lord my rock is a primary name. The word translated rock, Strong's number 05553, Cela, means the cleft of a high rock or a fortress. It is the equivalent of the Greek name Petra for a rock. Again, in the 18th Psalm in verse 31, David asks, "For who is God save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our God?" Again, in the 18th Psalm in verse 46, he says, "The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted." We should also consider the associated descriptions of David's Jehovah Cela. Not only does he call him the rock here, but he also calls him the fortress, the castle or fortress where one is safe from capture by the enemy. And he calls him his deliverer, the one who keeps one from being captured, or the one who allows me to escape from being captured. He calls him his strength, the strong rock of defense. He calls him the buckler, which we looked at in the last message, Megan, the small shield for the defensive maneuvers in battle. The root stem of Megan means a hedge about for defense and protection. Thus, the buckler could be taken to mean the hedge or the hedge up in the breach that is in the hedge at any given moment. I think we should think of it from 1 Corinthians 10:13, the way to escape, as what Hebrews 4:16 describes, is grace to help in time of need, just in the nick of time. And this is the exercising of the shield of faith from Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 16, which we'll look at in greater detail later. And then finally, he refers to him as the horn of my salvation, the highest protrusion of the top of the mountain. And finally, he calls him the high tower, the cliff, or the lofty or inaccessible place, thus figuratively the highest refuge that would be available. The Lord my rock is not only a primary name, but it's a practical doctrine. First, the Lord is still our rock. Once upon a time, there was a circuit riding preacher who traveled from church to church on horseback. One day, while he was traveling, a great storm came up rather suddenly, and Augustus Toplady took shelter in the covert of a great rock. Some even call it an open cave. And as he waited for the storm to pass, reflecting thereupon the greatness of God's provision in this small problem of his daily life, he fit this small piece into the great puzzle we call life. And from this experience, he penned the words of one of our most beloved hymns, entitled Rock of Ages. He said, "Rock of ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side which flowed be of sin the double cure, save from wrath and make me pure. Could my tears forever flow, could my zeal no languor know, these for sin could not atone, thou must save and thou alone. In my hand no price I bring, simply to thy cross I cling. While I draw this fleeting breath, when my eyes shall close in death, when I rise to worlds unknown and behold thee on thy throne, Rock of ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee." Second, we need to notice that the Lord is still our fortress. That is the castle or fortress where we are safe from capture by the enemy. In the 61st Psalm, the first 4 verses, David reaffirms the security of this place of refuge when he says, "Hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covering of thy wings. Again, in the 57th Psalm, in the first 2 verses, writing of when David was fleeing from Saul in the cave, he says, "Be merciful unto me, O God, be merciful unto me, for my soul trusteth in thee. Yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge, until these calamities be overpast. I will cry unto God most high, unto God that performeth all things for me."